Hey guys, this is Sean from L4PQ, and this is how I've been playing the tank role as an F2P player to get carried in high-level content such as level 7 joint ops. I feel the DPS role and healer role are pretty self-explanatory. You deal damage or you heal, but tanks are a little bit different because you can't really just stand there and soak up damage. In my opinion, as a tank, your role is to make it easier for the DPS whales to deal damage. The two most obvious ways of doing this are 1. Triggering phantasia by dodging, and 2. Shattering shields. Starting with the phantasia, you can trigger phantasia by doing a perfect dodge. You'll see a red flash before a boss attacks, and if you time and position correctly, you can trigger phantasia, which creates a dome that slows down time and basically freezes the boss in place. This makes it easier for our DPS whale lords to deal damage, and we can also take it easy and relax a bit since the boss is just a punch bag now. But there is a cooldown of 15 seconds, so you can't perfect dodge every single time and infinitely time freeze the boss. If you need a visual indicator, you can see the Phantasia cooldown icon above your HP bar, although it's kind of hard to keep track of when you have a bunch of buffs and the icon is kind of small. Now obviously you can't perfect dodge every time, and some bosses will have harder attacks to dodge. I suggest you focus mainly on reading the boss's moves and trying to learn how to dodge, even if it means you're not attacking for a bit. DPS isn't your primary role, especially if you're an F2P player. Your little chip damage probably won't contribute too much to the actual clear. And if you can't perfect dodge every 15 seconds, no worries. Try to at least keep the boss at a good position for the DPS so that they can easily deal damage. As I mentioned earlier in the video, I think the role of a tank is to make it easier for the DPS to deal damage to the boss, and Phantasia is one tool to do that, but if you can't get it down, then, at least just try to keep the boss from moving around too much and keep him in place so the DPS can easily deal damage. Secondly, do your best to shatter the shield. Shielded enemies take 50% less damage, plus, if you don't shatter it in time, bosses will do a special skill that may or may not wreck your entire team. So as soon as you see the boss shield up, swap to your shield shatter weapon and throw everything you have at it, even if that includes your life. If you die, your team can revive you, but if the boss wipes out the team, then obviously that's GG for that run. But only trade your life for an actual shatter. Don't die going all in at the boss when you can clearly see that you won't be able to shatter the shield in time. Speaking of which, I think more people need to run a shatter weapon as their third weapon, because one tank cannot shatter the boss shield all alone unless they're a whale. And I'm gonna assume most whales are going DPS rather than tank. So probably most tanks out there are like either F2P or low spenders, and they're gonna have a hard time shattering the shield all by themselves. So please help with the shield shattering. And yeah, that about sums up how I've been playing the tank role. It's not really about actually tanking and soaking up damage, but more of keeping the boss in position so it's easier to deal damage. And obviously, I'm nowhere close to being perfect. I say I'm decent and tend to know what to do, even if I can't always pull it off. And with that, I'm gonna keep the video rolling and finish the boss fight. You can rate my tanking and give pointers if you want to. And shout out to Shadel Augenstans for the super carry. Praise the Will Lord. Freaking insane. Alright, let me know if this was helpful, or if you already knew all this, or if you know more, feel free to share your tips. Bye.